संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. So today's topic is a serious one. We are going to go deep into the Vedanta philosophy. This is actually a continuation, you can say, of our last discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. So we had discussed verse number 16 of the second chapter, and that time itself we had seen that we had devoted one whole discussion to that, but we had just scratched the surface, you can say, because it is a very deep verse. So this can be said to be a continued discussion of that, but we are discussing only one word today. One word of that verse, which is a very, very significant expression in Vedanta. So a thorough understanding is required, and we will be forced to discuss some, just on the surface, a little of Sanskrit grammar also, because after all it is a Sanskrit word. So this verse, I think you remember, but still we will, please repeat after me. We will divide it into 4, just for recapitulation. Nasato vidyate bhavo,
नासतो विद्यते भावो,
na bhavo vidyate satah,
नाभावो विद्यते सतः,
ubhayorapi drishtontah,
उभयोरपि दृष्टन्तः,
स्तनयोस्तात्वदर्शिभिः.
स्तनयो तत्त्वदर्शिभिः.
So, the simple translation, the unreal never is, and the real never ceases to be. The conclusion about these two, the unreal and the real, is truly perceived by very, very few people. They are called Tattvadarshi, the seers of the ultimate reality. So, asata bhava na vidyate. There is no existence of the asat, unreal. Sata abhava na vidyate. There is never a destruction of sat, that is real. Ubhayo anayo anta. Nature of both these two is realized by Tattvadarshi. So the word is drishta. Ubhayorapi drishta. Drishta means realized. By whom? Tattvadarshi. So the Tattvadarshis, the seers of truth, have directly realized the final nature of these two. Of what? Sat and Asat. The real and the unreal. The existent and the non-existent. So they have not merely reasoned about it like we are reasoning. It is not that. By reasoning you can never actually get at the truth. The reasoning must lead to spiritual practices and finally realization. So they have not merely reasoned about it, they have seen it, experienced it, made it immediate and unmistakable. And this realization is not by one person only. That is why it is in plural. It is not Tattvadarshi, but it is Tattvadarshi bhi. Bhi means plural. So all those seers, know this. They know the same thing. They know that what is asat can never be. What is Sat can never cease to exist. So we will examine the extremely important term. Last time we had just translated as seers of truth because there was so much else. So we will examine this one word in detail. Tattvadarshi. This is rooted in the word Tat. Tat is a very, very important word in Vedanta. So we have to examine the grammatical derivation that is called in Sanskrit Vyutpatti. Vyutpatti. And also the philosophical significance, which is called Tattva Vichara. So because there is a concept which for most of you it will be completely new. I have made some slides and I will just, I think I will go on the screen. And here also I have to share with those who are online. So those who are online I think can see now. So Ankur can sit here and when I tell him to change, he can change. There will be 4 slides. So you have to change in both the same way. So now see, this is the word from which the Tattvadarshi is described, is made. This is the word Tat. Now, grammatical form, actually the word is Tat. Like in Nara, we have seen the word is Nara. But it becomes Nara in the first case ending, according to some rules. So here also, the word is Tat. But in the first case ending, it becomes Tat. Now, this is what is called Sarvanam. Sarvanam means pronoun. So base is Tat, that. Tat means that. Simple. This is a neuter word. We have seen in Sanskrit there is a Pumlinga, masculine, feminine plus neuter. So this is a neuter. Nominative means it is the first case ending. Nara, naro, nara, like that. Now meaning is simple. Tat means that. Simple. So in neuter it will be that. And in masculine it will be he. But then the word changes. Then the word becomes sa. So like all the words, this is also declined. 7 case endings. Tattetani, tattetani, like that. Now, that, here it means something not immediately present. In Vedanta, something not immediately present before your eyes. Beyond direct perception. So, for example, we are giving 4 examples. Aham tat satyam janami. I know that as truth. Second, aham tat chintayami. Tat again, I contemplate that. I contemplate on that. Aham tat na anyat pashyami. So I see nothing other than that. And aham tat anubhavami. I experience that. So, in Vedanta, tat becomes a technical term. It goes beyond the grammatical meaning. Grammatical meaning is simple, that. But Vedanta, tat becomes a technical term. What does it refer to? It refers to the ultimate reality, which is also called Brahman. So now the question may be why this is used. So we will come to that. Why Tat is used to denote Brahman. So this Mahavakya Upanishads you all know. Tat Tvam Asi. What is that black thing which is coming?
The sound they are saying that it's not clear online.
Yeah, but that black thing, if you think that is sharing also, they will see that black thing. So, yeah, that you have to remove. After I upload, they can. So, why is Tat used for Brahman? In that famous Mahavakya, Tat Tvam Asi. Tat is used. Now, we have already seen here in Vedanta, it means Tat, something not immediately present, something which is beyond direct perception. So the ultimate reality is also beyond direct perception. You cannot see it like this chair. So Tat means here the transcendent, which is beyond our organs of nose, eyes. You cannot see it with that. And this Tat is the main word and it becomes Tattva. Okay, so second slide please. Now Tattva is derived from Tat. Okay, Tattva, Tat plus Tva. Now this Tva, you know, in Sanskrit we have studied, it is a pratyaya. Pratyaya means it is a suffix. It is added after the word. This pratyayas are of many types. So this Tva is what is called Bhava Pratyaya. What is Bhava Pratyaya? Bhava Pratyaya is a suffix used in Sanskrit to express a state, quality, or abstract essence. So state, quality, or abstract essence. With examples it will be very clear. What we often translate in English as ness. So, or hood, manhood, womanhood, kindness. Or ity is also used like purity. So pure becomes purity. So now we apply that here. Tat plus Tva is ness is added, means state or essence. So Tat we have already seen. Tat means what? Tat means the supreme reality, Brahman. So when Tva is added, it becomes the state or essence of that supreme reality. So Tattva, that ness. Tat is that. When you add Tva, the ness comes. Tattva means that ness, means the essential nature of that. And because Tat means the supreme reality, Tattva means the essential nature of the supreme reality. So Mahat, I am giving some examples. Mahatva we know in Hindi as well as Sanskrit. Mahat plus Tva, greatness. So the state or quality of being great is greatness. Devatva, Deva plus Tva. So Deva is divine. Deva plus Tva means divinity. This means the state of becoming a Deva. So what does it lead to? It leads to the meaning of Tattva. You can call it Tattva or Tattvam after case ending application. So Tattva means reality, essence, true nature of what something is. True nature. This you have to remember. True nature of something. Why I am saying true nature, you will see later. But for now, So, in Sanskrit, in philosophy, this is very much used. If you say the true nature of ghata, ghata means a pot. If you say ghatasya tattva, means what? The true nature of a pot. Now you may ask, in a pot, what is true nature and what is false nature? A pot is a pot. But there is. We will see. But remember this for now. Ghatasya tattva means essence, true nature of a pot. Jivanasya tattvam, if you say. Then you have to say the true nature of life, the essence of life. Now, going still ahead, in Advaita Vedanta, Tattva is not just the essence of things. For Ghata Pata it is okay. Pata means cloth. So Ghata Pata it is okay. Things of the world it is okay. Essence of Ghata, essence of Pata. But in Advaita, Tattva goes even further ahead. Tattva is not just the essence of things. It ultimately means the one reality underlying everything. The one reality underlying everything. So that reality is underlying this chair, it is underlying this garden, it is underlying the sun, the moon, everything. So in the beginning it looks confusing, but as you progress it will be clear. So now slide 3 please. So this is what is most important. If you remember this, it will be very simple. Yat tad iti uchyate means what is called tad. Tat sat. That is sat. What is tad? That is sat. We are in the words what we have seen. Na sato vidyate vav. Sat word is used, no? So you have to remember the meanings are same. Tat and sat. They both mean the same thing. So yat tad iti uchyate tat sat. Yat sat iti uchyate tat tat. So here it means that. That is tat. What is sat is tat. What is tat is sat. Simple. So whatever is called sat and whatever is called sat is tat. Whatever tat is sat, yeah. In other words, tat and sat are not two different things. They arise from the same grammatical base and point to the same reality. What is that reality? The indestructible, homogeneous, changeless, non-dual principle. This is the thing. That is why Tat is used as a name for the Absolute. Now here you can see, you can draw parallelly. What? Just as every individual refers to himself as I. The same pronoun, Tat, that is used to refer to everything universally. Everything. We can say that garden, that tree, that chair, like everyone refers to oneself as I. Therefore, the one reality present in all beings, the common essence underlying all forms. See, if I refer to this as that, if I refer to the carpet as that, if I refer to the windows as that, there is something common between them.
Yeah.
If I refer to myself as I, you are also referring yourself as I. So there has to be something common between us. So, therefore, the one reality present in all beings, the common essence underlying all forms, is indicated by the word Tat. And the essence of that, or the universal reality, is called Tattva. So, we have already seen Tat iti sarvanama. Tat is a pronoun. That is a pronoun. So just as every individual individual refers to himself as I, the same pronoun that is used to refer to everything universally. So that is why the Upanishads say Tat iti Brahmano nama. Tat is a name for Brahman. And of course you also know Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahman. So, and this is Tat, another name for Brahman or the ultimate reality. And the state, nature or mode or being of that Brahman is called Tattva. In Sanskrit you can say in very simple terms, Tasya Bhava Tattva. Ghatasya Bhava Ghatatvam. See, in the beginning it looks confusing, but as we go forward, Ghatasya, Ghata means ghat, pot. Ghatasya means of the pot. Narasya, like that. Ghatasya Bhava. Bhava means essence. What is it? It is called Ghatatva. Potness. Now there may be 100 millions of pots, different color, different shapes and sizes. But one thing which will be common to them is potness. So these are very subtle things. These are philosophical, everything you have to understand here. You cannot see there. So potness is common to all pots. Okay. So simple everyday examples you can see. Ghatasya bhava ghatatvam. Ghatatvam is what makes. Now you can ask simple question that there are 100 millions of pots. So what is the essential feature in all of them? There is only one answer. Potness. Ghatatvam. So there are now clothes. There are hundreds of millions of type of clothes, different shapes, different sizes. So why are all of them called cloth? There is no similarity sometimes. Black, blue, large, small. But this is also cloth. That is also cloth. On what basis? On this basis. Pata, cloth. Patasya bhava, patatvam. Means clothness. So in all the clothes of the world, this clothness is same. That is what you can call everything cloth. All the clothes you can call cloth. So here, ghatasya bhava ghatatvam, patasya bhava patatvam. In all these, this tattva is the essential defining nature of that. Ghatatvam is not same as patatvam. Ghatatvam defines all the ghatas, all the pots. Patatvam defines all the cloth. See, so tattva here is essential defining nature. So what we have to remember is, there may be countless clay pots, but the quality potness is one and the same in all. This much is understood. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Now comes the important question. What we are going at. Vedanta, the aim of Vedanta is what? Aim of Vedanta is to reach unity. So the aim is from the particular go to the universal. The most famous expression, one of the most famous expression in the Upanishads is Kasminu bhagavo vigyate sarvamidam vigyatam bhavati. Means we don't have the time to examine each and every object in the universe. Life is too small. So their question is, what is that? Vikyate, knowing which, sarvamidam, all this Vijnatam Bhavati. What is that knowing which we know everything in the universe? That is the question. So Vedanta says what? Vedanta says Ghatatvam is common to all Ghata, potness is common to all pots. Patatvam is common to all clothes. Now, the main question Vedanta asks, what is the one and the same, like potness is same in all pots, clothness is same in all clothes. Now, Vedanta asks, what is one and the same in everything in the universe? This is the main factor. Now there may be 100 millions of pots, but if you know, we know that potness is common to all pots. So if you know potness, you know all the pots. Is it not? So Vedanta asks, what is common to everything in the universe? If we know that, we know everything. That is why called the knower of Brahman becomes omniscient. Omniscient means he does not learn to fly an aeroplane, or he cannot operate a rocket, he cannot build a rocket immediately. This means he may not be familiar with the outer things, but he knows the essence behind everything. This is the main thing. Now the last slide number 4. Now we come to the main matter. So in Vedanta we ask, what is the Tattva, the essence of everything? Tattva again came from Tat, that. Now we start from the things we know. Pot, ghata, ghatasya bhava, ghatatvam. Potness. What is potness? If the pots are all made up of clay, mitti, then that is common to all. So essence of ghata, if it is made of clay, is actually clay. What is in Sanskrit called mrittika. Similarly, if you say ornament, abharana. Now if you ask, abharanasya bhava, what is the essence of it? Suppose all of these ornaments are made of gold. Then what is the essence of that? Gold, swarna. There may be hundreds and millions of waves, small, big, taranga. Now if you ask, tarangasya bhava, what is common to all the waves? Water. Without water they cannot be wave. So water is the essence of taranga, of a wave. Gold is the essence of any ornament. Clay is the essence of ghata, any pot. So there may be countless clay pots, there may be countless jewelry, there may be countless waves. But in each of them, the essence will never change. For example, in pot it will ghatatva, potness is one and the same. So the tattva is the underlying reality. This has different tattva, this has different tattva, this has different tattva. The tattva of ghata is clay, the tattva of ornament is gold, the tattva of tarang is water. But in each of them, their tattva is the underlying reality behind them. So this is tattva, the underlying reality. Not, now I had previously told you, that knowing the true nature. True nature is something which will never change. And the other, which is apparent will always change, can change, there is no problem. For example, ghata may be round, a pot may be round, a pot may be like this. So this means what? This roundness, and suppose it is long. What are these? Shape. That is called form. You can give it any name you like. Pot A, pot B. So there is no problem. Even if it is pot A, even if it is round, it is a pot. If it is a pot B, it may be long. It is a pot. This means what? This means name and form don't touch the essence of a thing. Name and form come and go. The same pot you break, again you make, you can give it a different shape. Any name you can give, A, B, C, D. But by changing name and form, you don't touch the essence of a thing. Those are just outward things. That's why I told knowing the essence. If you know just the name and form of something, you don't know the essence. Because name and form are changing. If you know just what we know of a person, we know just the name and form. Actually, we don't know the person at all. I don't know you until I know the ultimate reality, which is your essence. So you can see all this talk of love, it's all nonsense. How can you love something which you don't know? You actually don't know. You are just loving the outward name and form, which don't belong to that thing at all. So it's all shallow, it's nothing. That's why you can love a person only when you know God. That is why in Vedanta, all the spiritual literature, this is the reason. It is not just they've said something, whatever came to their mind. So, now when you see the Tattva, this is Mritika, clay, Tattva of ornament is gold, Tattva of wave is water. So, what is the Tattva of the entire universe? That is the question. Knowing that, we can know everything. That is called Brahman. And the one who has seen this reality, who has recognized the one essence in all beings, is a Tattvadarshi, a seer of truth. This is the word. This is the meaning of the word. You cannot understand this till you come right from the top. So one word has so much significance in Vedanta. Now we will go into a little more detail. So those who are online, I hope you could hear more or less, but afterwards, if not, you can also see the video later. That is, I will insert the slides. So this word will come again and again and again in Vedanta. Tattva, Tattvadarshi, Tattvadarshi, Tattvadarshi. All this will come. That's why this has to be clearly understood. Now, what have we discussed? Tattvadarshana is the realization of that Tattva. And the one who realizes it is the Tattvadarshi. So Tattvadarshana means the vision of reality as it truly is. Truly. This is the thing. Now we color an object, suppose. We color it black, blue or whatever. Or we look at it through some tinted glass. That is not seeing it, actually. Just knowing the color of a thing is not knowing the thing. The color applied to an object or the tint of a glass is what? Is something which is superimposed. Yeah. So some other terms we will just glance at in order to understand the true Tattva. Then afterwards, later at some stage we will go into detail. But some terms we will introduce today. So that is something from outside. So we attribute to a pot, suppose a pot is black. Now we attribute blackness to that pot, but actually it doesn't belong to the pot. Why? Because if it belonged to the pot really, then even if the blackness would go, the pot would not be a pot. Is it not? So this head belongs to my body. If you cut it, then the body won't be a complete body. Is it not? So if the black color actually belonged to the pot, then if the color was gone, the pot would no longer be a pot. But even if the black color goes, the pot is a pot. This means that blackness or redness or blueness is not the essential nature of that pot. So we are actually, when we are seeing the color only, we are attributing the pot something which does not belong to it at all. And this in Sanskrit is called adhyaropa. Adhyaropa. Called superimposition. And in Sanskrit it is said, what is Tattva? Now see, the same term we are trying to understand in various ways. What is Tattva? Anadhyaropitam. When there is nothing superimposed on that. I have told you before also, in Sanskrit, sometimes just by adding one word just by adding one letter, we get completely opposite meaning. So you many examples rupa. So here also an, when we add, the meaning changes. An. So adhyaropitam, anadhyaropitam. All we have added is one letter. Adhyaropita means superimposed. Anadhyaropita means not superimposed. So what is Tattva? When there is nothing superimposed on that. Anadhyaropitam. When all superimpositions are removed, that is the Tattva. That is the truth. Again, we will again try to understand in another way. So please try to pay attention. So definition of Tattva, what will it be? Tattva is that which does not abandon its own nature even when an effect produced from it, even if there is an effect produced from it, it does not change its nature. And not only that, even when the effect produced from it is destroyed, it does not change its nature. That is the definition of Tattva. So we will see here, by examples it will become very clear. Now wood. Suppose you take wood. You make a toy from wood. Means wood is the cause, the toy is the effect. But by making the toy, do you change the nature of the wood? You don't. You cannot. So, that is the Tattva which does not change its nature even when an effect is produced from it. Now, suppose you make the toy and then destroy the toy. Still, you don't change the nature of the wood. So, if the essence of wood is woodness, you cannot touch that essence. You can make anything out of it. The essence will be the same. You can make anything out of it, then you can destroy what you have made. You cannot change the essence. So actually when you are destroying something, what are you doing? See, we don't think like this actually. Suppose you make a ball out of wood. You destroy the ball. What are you doing? You are just removing the form. If you color it, then again remove that color. What are you doing? You are just removing the color, rupa. Nama rupa. So when you make it a ball, you will call it a ball. After the form is destroyed, you will no longer call it a ball. So what are you doing actually? You are just removing the name and form. And what remains after the name and form are removed, that is the essence of that thing. So what we have said earlier, I will repeat. Tattva or the essence of something is that which does not abandon its nature when an effect is produced from it. So wood will not abandon its nature when you produce a ball out of it. Not only that, even when that effect is destroyed, wood will not change its nature. Previously also, wood was that which had woodness. Now also, wood is that which has woodness. So you make up hundreds of pots out of clay, you break each of them. Clay is clay. You cannot change its nature. And what is clay? Actually, in philosophical language, what is clay? It is just a substratum upon which the form is superimposed. That is all. Without the substratum, you cannot superimpose anything. So form is superimposed upon that. Why is it superimposed? Why you call it superimposed? Because it will come and go. Is it not? That which comes and goes cannot be the reality behind the thing. So form is just superimposed upon the real pot. The color is superimposed upon the real pot. But by the superimposition or the negation, the nature of the pot will not change. You can superimpose any color, you can take away that, but the substratum will not change. And the substratum which remains, even when the form is negated, which underlies both the appearance and disappearance of that form. Each word you have to pay attention. The substratum is underlying not only the form, but also the disappearance of the form. Clay you can make into a round ball. Okay, you've superimposed a form. Again you make the clay just like it was previously. So form has appeared, form has disappeared. What is underlying both? The clay. So that essence, which does not abandon its nature when the effect is produced from it, or when that effect is destroyed also, which underlies both the appearance and disappearance of the form, that, in the language of Vedanta, is the Tattva of that thing. Now, do not misunderstand this to mean that the pot is literally made inside the clay. That is not what is happening. When you make a pot from a clay, from a piece of clay, don't think that the pot is made inside the clay. What is happening is, when you give it the shape, when you give the shape of a pot, the pot shape is just imagined in the clay. Because of the shape, the clay has undergone no real change of state. What truly happens is that a particular shape is seen to appear in the clay. That is all. But the clay has not become something else. Only a form is seen. So, in reality, we have seen when the clay is made into a pot, the pot shape is superimposed. That is called adhyaropa. Then when it is negated, the clay remains clay. That negation in Vedanta is called apavad. So adhyaropa and apavad. Adhyaropa means superimposing something. Apavad means negating something. Now this superimposition and negation actually happens all in the mind. It is here it is happening. Mind is superimposing, mind is negating. So if you say, I have made a beautiful pot out of clay, now I have to negate this form. That means I have to break the clay, break the pot, beautiful pot. No. Apvad or negation does not mean breaking the pot. Then what does it mean? It means teaching us to look beyond the shape and recognize that even after knowing the pot shape, try to see and recognize that after all, it is clay alone. Nothing has happened to the pot actually. It was clay, it is clay, and even when you give it hundreds of millions of forms, it will be clay only. Again, another example. See how the saints have tried to teach us in so many ways. So suppose someone comes to a house to sell ornaments. He will show all these things. This is a necklace, this is a bracelet. So suppose a father and son are seeing this. Now the father tells his son, look carefully and tell me whether this is genuine or not. So what will the son say? Yes, this is a necklace, I can recognize it. This is a bracelet, I can recognize it. Father says, no. I want you to recognize whether the gold in them is real or not. That is the real thing. Then the son will say, to know whether the gold or not, then I have to melt all the instruments. Everything must be broken, melted and made into a single lump. Father says, no. To know whether the gold is genuine, you need not break anything. You take the gold from anywhere. You only need to test that gold. You need not break anything. Because the only real thing in them is the gold. So test the gold and you will know whether it is genuine or fake. You don't have to break anything here. So in the same way, now we relate to the Vedanta. In the same way, the entire creation that stands before us does not need to be smashed, dissolved. The cosmic dissolution is not needed. Only one thing needs to be done. Examine it and see what lies at its root. Test it on the touchstone of what? Tattva. Without having that jnana, you cannot recognize. Test it on that touchstone. See, a jeweler, how will he know whether that gold in the bracelet is genuine without having known what genuine gold is like? Without having that knowledge, without having that jnana, how will he know? So here also, what is the touchstone? The touchstone is that tattva jnana, that knowledge of reality. The basis upon which the entire universe is superimposed. And the basis upon which the entire universe, the entire superimposition can also be mentally negated. That which has been superimposed by us will have to be negated by us. If someone else negates it, it won't help me. Is it not? So, what is that substratum upon which the whole universe is superimposed? What is that tattva upon which we are imagining this whole play? That in Vedanta is called Brahman. And what is our job? Negation. Apavad. Yeah, so negation does not mean breaking or destroying anything. It means withdrawing the form with the help of your intellect and seeing what the real substance is. Then what will you find? That it is pure being, that is pure Sat. It is pure Chit, it is pure knowledge, and it is pure Ananda, it is pure bliss. That is the thing. That is why in Vedanta we take many things from Sankhya, but ultimately Sankhya is refuted. Sankhya correctly establishes the witnessing self, but it also admits Prakriti to be real. So in Sanskrit, Tattva is the name given to that in which names and forms are both superimposed. And one day, one fine day, when we actually gain knowledge, then what will happen? That which is superimposed will actually be negated. So bracelet is a name. Bracelet denotes a shape. Earring is a name. Earring denotes a shape. Necklace is a name, which also denotes many kinds of shapes. So all these names and forms are imposed upon gold. And the gold upon which these impositions rest, the substratum in Vedanta, is called in Sanskrit the Adhishthana. So slowly we have to get familiar with these things. Adhishthana, the substratum, the real gold. What is superimposed? Nama Rupa, name and form. What is this superimposition called? It is called Adhyaropa. And when we negate it, what is the negation called? Apavad. And since the witnessing consciousness is none other than our real eye, not this eye. This eye is the cause of all the problems. So, since the witnessing consciousness is none other than our real eye, it follows that the real eye is the Adhishthana. And the entire creation is merely superimposed on that. So again a little recapitulation. That on which names and forms are superimposed and from them mentally withdrawn is called Adhishthana. And when something unreal, something which is superimposed is taken to be real, that error is called Adhyasa. And another term, what causes the thing to change? Something is superimposed, then the thing appears to be different, is it not? So, that thing which remaining close to something seems to transfer its qualities to that thing. For example, a red flower near a crystal makes the crystal appear red. So that thing which remaining close to something seems to transfer it, actually does not make the crystal red, seems to transfer its qualities upon something is called Upadhi. After I say, Ankur will say many things. Upadhi. So you know the crystal and the red flower example, we have discussed it earlier. So we see many instances of these things. Rays of the sun appear red, yellow or green when seen through the clouds. So what is happening? The water in the cloud acts as an upadhi. Because of that upadhi, sun's rays assumes various colors. Water also acts as upadhi. The sun rays are conditioned by it. What is conditioned is called in Sanskrit upahita. Upadhi leads to something being upahita. And of course the colors are all illusory. In the same way, what is the upadhi of the self? The upadhi of the self is called the antakarana, which is also called mind. It is composed of many things. In one word you can say mind. Antakarana. Karana means instrument. So instrument can be outside as well as inside. Outside instruments are all these hands, feet, etc. But the inner instrument is the real thing by which we know. That is antakarana. It is made up of man, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, all these things, but they are all the same thing. And the pancha prana, all these things are there. So when we die, it is that antakarana which goes away from the body. But because we think we are that, we will also go. Actually, nobody is coming or going. Problem is only one, superimposition. So, when it is negated, then we get to the real essence of the whole universe, which is the Tattva, which is called Brahman. One who has succeeded in doing this, one who has gained that ultimate knowledge. He is called a Tattvadarshi. This is the thing. So I know your head is reeling. If you want Tylenol, I can give you. Now the question will be, so what's the problem? Superimposition is there, just negate it. We cannot negate it just like that. Because with our utmost effort we have tried to superimpose it. Through hundreds and millions of births we are going on superimposing. So this habit has become so bad. Now when negating also, you have to go through those layers. See, if you have tied a rope into a million knots, one after the other, you have to untie those million till you can get to the rope. That is the problem. And what is causing this superimposition? Because we don't want to give up name and form. We like that. So we cannot give them up. For example, it is well known that I like Abaji's black hair. At the age of 80, where can you get such black hair? So because I like that, I cannot attain knowledge also.
And she likes it.
Whether she likes it, that is not my headache. But what is causing my obstruction to my knowledge is my lacking that. That is why it is said, without enunciation, you cannot have knowledge. It is impossible. Renunciation is what? It is nothing but giving up attachment to what does not exist. Giving up the attachment to the name and form. Once that is made, once that is done, then the inquiry can start. Before that, there is no chance at all. So both have to go together. Both these things have to go together. If someone says, no, I cannot denounce anything in the universe at all, then there is no question of attaining knowledge. Because he doesn't want to attain knowledge. If you want the name and form so badly, then where is the question of knowledge? So this is in short, not in short I can say, I think we have done a fairly detailed, examination of this word, Tattvadarshi. Darshi is relatively easier to understand because it is the experiencer. Drish, the word root is drish, means to see. From this comes Darshi, the seer. Seeing does not mean with the eyes. Seeing here is realizing. So the main thing we have to understand is what is this Tattva, because it will come again and again in Vedanta. And with that we have also seen what is Adhyaropa, what is Apvada, what is Adhisthana, what is Nama Rupa, and how Nama Rupa actually have no reality at all. They come and go. And being unattached to what comes and goes, not caring for them at all, is the first step if we aspire after this Tattva Jnana. So let us stop here for today. I think you've had enough by this time. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna